Welcome back to the channel, guys. So if you're new to my channel, I ask you to go ahead and roundhouse kick that subscribe button that you got down there. Go ahead and turn on your post notifications. Make sure you know when the new videos are coming out. And go ahead and give me a thumbs up if you like what we're doing here. Be working on the 51 again today. So without further ado, this is... Alright, welcome back. So today, again, we're going to be working on 51 GMC. We're going to be working on a bit of the firewall, trying to get all the holes drilled out that we need for brake booster, wiring looms that are going to be going through there, the steering column down the bottom. I need to try and figure out some way to get my, my throttle cable. As you can see, the throttle cable that I got here is from an original, well, I don't even know, 93 something Ram, Dodge, Dakota, I don't remember. Anyways, lines up really good with my truck, and as you guys can see, where it actually goes through the firewall is actually a square, so I'm gonna have to probably cut a hole and then use my Dremel, try and cut that out the best I can. I think it's actually this side that goes through for the throttle pedal. That goes on the throttle body. This goes through the actual firewall, so we'll need to cut a hole for that, burrow that out a little bit so we can clip that in, get that lined up for the throttle pedal. We are going to be welding the throttle pedal inside there, really just trying to get to a point where we're ready to start painting. I did get my paint, just kind of went, we'll call it the cheap route. I'm not real good with mixing paints and everything else yet, and without having to actually paint the entire vehicle, I didn't see a sense in going and buying gallons of this stuff. So this is kind of what I got. I got this Duplicolor. It's ready to spray. I don't have to dilute it. I don't have to do anything with it. If you can kind of see, this is going to be the color here. This that midnight color that I've been talking about. So once we get that on, that'll be super cool. Along with, we got our clear, and it's a metallic, and you can see how awesome UPS was to smash the Christ out of this thing. A bunch of it leaked out. So I hope the rest of it on the inside is not messed up, but pretty much everything that got delivered from UPS was all smashed and banged, and every single one of these cans was smashed. So thanks, UPS. Along with that, we were talking about in the last video about one panel that needs to go, where's my hand? Right down about here. And so kind of made, if you guys have cardboard laying around, you guys are doing something like this, I promise you need to keep that cardboard around. I've pretty much made every template panel, well, not the panels, but templates for all the panels that I've been making for this out of cardboard. It's easy to bend and make your nice template. So that's kind of what's going on. I'll show you what we're talking about underneath there. We got this panel right about here made, but there's a little spot right underneath it that's still kind of open to the inside of the cab. I'm really trying to keep any water, anything from seeping in there. So without further ado, I'm gonna get all suited up, so I don't want to get metal shavings all over myself, and we'll get to work. Alright guys, so you can see we went ahead and cut most of our holes anyways. Got the one for our wiring on both sides. This guy here be for the brake booster, and this one down here is for the steering column. So got them all for the battery box as well. That's what these 6 are here. I did intentionally drill this one up here at the top, and then another one over here you guys see me drill. The reason why, that little flux core welder I have, it does a pretty good job, but it's not a gas welded. It's a beginner welder, let's be honest. So as the Firewall is welded in place actually really well, I just wanted that little bit of extra security. That one there will be thrown in with the battery box, so that one will kind of be, it'll look like it's supposed to be there. The one over here, it might, I don't think it's going to look weird. It's just going to be kind of a random bolt, but I just wanted that little bit of extra security. Go ahead and pinch that Firewall together with the existing Firewall that was already up there. One thing I got to do still, I forgot, I got on the inside of this guy here, on the inside of the cab, we're going to be running that heater box. So I got some, what do they call them? Nut certs. And so we're going to be drilling about 4 holes in that guy for the nut certs, and then the 2 lines for the heater core that's going to be coming through will be coming through on this side over here. So I need to run inside. I need to grab that, kind of just mock those lines in place, find out exactly where they're going to come through in the Firewall. I hope they're not way over here, but honestly, I think they're going to be right about here, give or take. And then we'll get those 4. The last thing that we really got to do, build those couple of panels for the one for this side to put that in place. And then I got to build a couple of standoffs, I guess you call them, or whatever else. And we're going to be welding those on the inside of the Firewall. One on this side, one on this side. The one on this side over here is going to hold the actual fuse box. I don't want to drill holes straight through the Firewall, bolt it through the Firewall. I'm really trying to keep as little holes as humanly possible going through this Firewall. I want it to look nice and clean. So I'm going to build kind of some standoffs, just some flat metal, and then I'll bend them and put just a couple of little feet on them. We'll weld them on the inside, and that way I can actually mount the fuse box and the ECU on this side, and the ECU is going to sit pretty much behind the battery box there. So we'll get those cut out, we'll bend them up, and then we'll go ahead and weld those in place on the inside once I figure out exactly the location that they're going to go. So they'll just be welded in place on the inside of the Firewall, which will be nice, so no holes through, and then we can just drill a couple of holes through those standoffs to actually mount everything through. So I'm going to pop inside, grab those couple things, and we'll get back to it. All right, guys, we're back. So went ahead off camera. I drilled those 2 holes for my 2 heater hoses to come out of right there, and you can't really see it, but the 4 holes for the actual heater are kind of where my WD-40 drips are, trying to keep those things, the drill bits nice and cool. But these are those little nut certs. I'm sure you guys have seen those before. So I'm going to be running these through this part of the Firewall on the inside, and then that way, 1/4 inch. These ones are 1/4 inch by 20, I believe it is. A couple nuts will actually hold that heater assembly. This is the heater assembly that I got. It's a vintage air unit, kind of we'll call it a universal, but I guess it's kind of what it was, is universal. So it's got the 2 ducts for the actual defrost, and then on the bottom there's a little louver that'll open up for floor heat. That's really all these trucks ever had, so I didn't really see going crazy. I know Vintage Air and a couple others, they make the big kits that completely fit underneath the dash. It's got AC, it's got electronic controls, it's got all sorts of crazy stuff, but I think they're like $1,500 or $1,600, where I think this was $200 or $300. So not a bad little unit. It does come with this little guy. It comes with the ducts. It comes with, I guess, well, I don't know what you would want to call them, the ducts, and then the actual ducts that mount up underneath. It comes with all the lines for it. It comes with your heater control valve, and then it also comes with the actual assembly for the controls, and these actually are electronic, so nothing vacuum actuated. I got one more hole that I got to drill for the throttle cable, like I was talking about. I originally drilled one. It's right about here, and I thought I had made that mark for that. Thank God it was just an 1/8 inch little drill bit. I should be able to just kind of tack that closed, and then just once it gets painted, you'll never see the thing. But I think the cable's going to land more, I think probably more along this area over here. But what I'm going to do, once I get that the throttle pedal stand welded on the inside, I'll mount the pedal on the inside, and then I can kind of know exactly how high and whatever. I'll just mark it on the inside, drill one little hole through, and then that way I can kind of start working from the outside here to drill the hole the size I need, and then I'll take my Dremel and I can slowly start to kind of make as much of a square as I need to, until that thing will finally slip in there. Seal up. It does have a little gasket that's on it, but I'll probably throw a little RTV or something when I throw it in there, so when it clips, it'll seal around. I don't have water or anything running through. So I'm going to start cutting these couple pieces up. We'll get back to it as soon as I'm done. All right, guys, so you can see we got the panel made of it to beat the hell out of it. I got a little bender, but you can't do two bends in opposite directions on the bender because when you go to put it in there flat, it'd want to flatten that one side. But took a hammer, some pliers, some sweat, tears, and everything else under the sun. Got that all bent up, drilled some holes. We're gonna go ahead and weld it up in place now. All right, quick recap of what we've done. So we got our 4 holes, those ones. I was saying it was a little difficult to see them. There they are. That's where the heater will go on the inside. 2 heater core lines, battery box. That'll be for the engine harness. It's going to come off the engine, kind of turn and go in there. We got brake booster, steering column, and that'll be for the chassis wiring. That's going to come off the top of the fender, and that'll dive down in. Well, I guess it's technically going to come out, come around, and then the other one will kind of come down, follow around the frame rail back there to the back side. We got it, went ahead, got this panel. I'll give you guys a little bit. Little ugly, not gonna lie. Welds were not fantastic by any stretch of the imagination, but we got her in place, got her tacked in place. That just kind of covered up a little triangle hole that used to kind of be there. Again, didn't want any water or anything kind of seeping in there. So we'll go ahead and seam seal. Looks like I went ahead and, well, I don't think that was actually me. But bunch of holes that were in this thing. So seam sealer is going to kind of go a long way. Got this panel put in a little while ago. That one turned out really slick. I do like the way that one turned out. All right, so with the work we've got done today, I think we're going to go ahead and call it right there. I unfortunately have a bunk back, so I can only put in about so much time in a day before my body just tells me it's done. So about done now. I wanted to get a couple more things done. I was kind of hoping I could cut up the plate for the transmission mount back there, but tomorrow's another day, so we'll go ahead and get back at it tomorrow. One thing we did do, I wanted to show you guys. So this is the ECU for the truck. I did build up those little brackets. They look like this. So 16 gauge, made a couple of those guys. Got 2 of them for the fuse box, and then 2 of them for this guy. So that's kind of how those will go. Those will go inside there. This one is only held on by 1, but there is not another mounting point there. So I just got a couple of bolts in there temporarily just to kind of hold the thing in place while I mocked it up in place inside the cab to kind of get my marks, because obviously I don't want to weld this thing with that ECU on there. I don't want to burn that ECU. I don't know how much they cost, but I don't want to replace it. So did get those. This one again, this will be going on the passenger side here, and then the fuse box will be going over on the driver's side. So tomorrow when we start welding these up, we'll throw some more video, get those, hopefully get that transmission mount, kind of go from there, see what else we're gonna do. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I enjoyed it. It's good to go ahead and start getting all this stuff done. I'm looking forward to go ahead and getting paint on this, start throwing this truck together. Appreciate you guys sticking around, and as always, remember, your hands ain't dirty, you ain't bleeding, you ain't doing it right.